a strap, you may want it. If not, you can modify and just not use the strap. So we'll start on your backs, and you can just have that strap within reach. Once you have your props, and if you're still getting those and getting settled, just find your way onto your back. Just lay still. Just notice how you're feeling this morning. How your body feels. And the way the breath feels. And even just check in with what's going on in your mind. Just bring your attention to your breath and let the attention stay there. Just letting that breath be an anchor of your focus today. So at any point, if you feel distracted, as you notice it, bring the focus back to this breath. Just reach your arms up by your ears. Pause here in this morning stretch. And hug your knees towards your chest. Take a little rock side to side. And then just come back to stillness. Place the palms of the hands on top of the knees and start to make some circles with the knees. They can go the same direction or opposite directions. And then just take those circles the opposite way. And then hug the knees back in and just take a really gentle, happy baby. Maybe hands just go behind the knees. And then release happy baby. Just hug the knees in towards the chest. You can drop the feet down to the mat just so you can reach for your strap if you have it. And then take the strap around the ball of the right foot and extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. And if you don't have a strap, you just take hands behind that right thigh. And then if you like, you can extend your left leg straight onto the mat. And then take the strap into the left hand and take your right arm to a T. And then just take the foot over to the left, about a foot. So it's not gonna go very far. The leg's gonna still be pretty upright, but your right foot will now be roughly over your left hip. So you're getting a stretch in the outer right hip here. And then you can stay there if you want for the last couple of breaths. You can let that leg fall all the way over to the left so you're coming into more of a twist. Maybe rolling onto the left side a little bit. And then just bring the leg back up through center, change sides so you can take the left foot into the strap and you decide what you want to do with the right leg. So it can be bent with the sole of the foot flat, or maybe the right leg is extended onto the mat. I'm going to take the strap into the right hand, left arm to a T, and then just take that left foot over to the right about a foot. So that foot is right over your right hip bone. And then for the last couple of breaths, if you like, you can take that leg all the way over to the right for more of a twist. And then come back up right. You can take your strap to the side. Just hug the knees in towards the chest. Notice how that's feeling. Maybe take a little rock side to side. And then keep the knees bent. Drop the feet to the mat. Take your right ankle over your left thigh. Just keep your left foot down here. Take your arms to a T and then drop the knees over to the left. So you're coming into a twist with that ankle crossed. If you don't like that, you can uncross the ankle, step the right leg on the left leg. And then for the last couple of breaths here, if you want, you can take your right arm up by your ear and then bend that elbow and tuck the hand sort of under the upper back so the palm is spinning up. If you bend that right arm, just take it back out to a T and then bring your knees up through center. Uncross the right ankle, place the foot flat on the mat, and then take the left ankle over the right thigh and drop the knees over to the right for the twist. And then for the last couple of breaths, you can take the left arm by the ear and then bend the elbow, tuck that hand behind the upper back with the palm spinning up. If you bend that left elbow, just extend the left arm to a T. Bring the knees up through center, unwind the legs, and just hug them in towards the chest. And then rock up and down, or maybe roll off to the side. Make your way up into tabletop. Just find any movement that feels good this morning once you land in tabletop. Cat-cow, or some movement of the hips. And once you feel like you've gotten the wiggles out in table, just make your way back into child's pose. And then make your way up through tabletop. Actually, let's just tuck the toes under and pause in table with the toes tucked. You can stay right there if you want. You can walk the hands back towards the knees so the hips come towards the heels. If you want, you can sit upright so the shoulders are over the hips. That's not happening for me this morning, so I'm gonna keep my hands down, keep some weight forward, and just take a couple breaths. And then just walk your hands back forward so you're back in tabletop. Untuck the toes, little tap of the tops of the feet. And then sit the hips back to the heels. One more child's pose just for a breath. And then make your way up through tabletop into downward facing dog and just find some movement there in this first down dog. I just saw one of your dogs 3D into the camera there. I always like when I see the dogs walking by, checking things out. And then from this down dog, just come forward into plank and drop your knees down immediately for modified plank. And then just nice, easy lower down to your belly. Slide your forearms forward, come into Sphinx pose. Give a couple breaths, maybe you take a little sway of the shoulders. And then just come back to stillness if you're moving. Lower the head and shoulders to the mat. Draw the hands back by the sides of the rib cage. Press yourself up through tabletop and come back to down dog. But in this down dog, just bend your knees really deeply. And as you do that, press into the hands and lift your hips up and back so you feel this nice extension in the spine. And then just drop your knees to the mat for tabletop. Cross your shins so you can come back to seated, and then lift your feet up for boat pose. What? This happens so early. Take just a breath here. And then cross your shins, plant your hands, and step back to downward facing dog. And walk your feet forward to your hands, forward fold, top of the mat. Take an inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, twist to the right, take your arms to a T. Inhale, come back to center, arms up. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, back to center. And exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step to plank. Take an inhale here in plank. Exhale, lower to your belly. Inhale for cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then walk your feet forward to your hands, forward fold front of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way to standing, reach up. Exhale, hands down to the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step to plank. Take an inhale and plank. Hold for your exhale. Last inhale. Exhale, lower to your belly. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk your feet forward to your hands, forward fold, top of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands down to heart. Inhale for chair. Exhale, fold forward, straighten your legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, straight to down dog. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, foot by the right thumb, left heel down. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, hands frame the foot straight to down dog. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, foot by the left thumb, right heel down. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, hands frame the foot, step to plank. Take an inhale and plank. And exhale, lower to your belly. Inhale for cobra or up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. And then walk your feet forward to your hands, forward fold top of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sit back for chair. Exhale, come to standing, straighten the legs, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, your way back, downward facing dog. And once you're in down dog, take your right leg up and back. And bend the knee, open the hip. You can circle the right ankle or the knee around. And then straighten the legs, square off the hip, bring the foot between the hands, spin the back heel down and come up into warrior two. And from your warrior two, cartwheel your hands down to frame your front foot. And then walk your hands to the left halfway and spin your feet parallel for a wide leg forward fold. Just start with the hands under the shoulders, lengthen the chest forward. They're actually not really hinging into the fold for this one. And then from there, keep your legs and your hips where they are. Just start to walk your hands forward like you're coming into down dog in your upper body. So it's like down dog with your legs really wide. And then walk your hands back under your shoulders. And then walk your hands over to the right to frame your front foot and your way back to down dog, however you'd like to get yourself there. And then take your left leg up and back. Bend the knee, open the hip, maybe take a little bit of movement there. And then straighten the legs, square off the hip. Bring the foot between the hands. Spin the back heel down. Warrior two. And then cartwheel your hands down to frame your left foot. Walk your hands to the right and spin your feet parallel. Keep your hands under the shoulders this time. And then plant your right hand to the mat. Twist your torso to the right and reach your right arm up. I think I said that wrong, but just twist to one side. And then come back through center, plant that top hand and twist over to the other side. And then bring that top hand back to the mat. You can stay there with the hands under the shoulders, or you can hinge forward and walk your hands back towards your feet, just folding into it for a couple breaths. And then walk your hands back under your shoulders. Take them over to the left to frame your left foot for a lunge. And then step back into plank. Lower all the way down to your belly and slide your forearms forward again for Sphinx pose like we did in the beginning. You can stay right there. If it feels good for you, you can press into the hands, straighten the arms. If it's not, elbows can be bent. And if your arms are straight, you can just re-bend them, lower head and shoulders to the mat, draw the hands back by the sides of the rib cage. Take cobra or up dog, your choice. And then come into downward facing dog. And then take your right leg up and back. Bring the foot next to the right thumb, spin the left heel down, and come up into warrior one. Take the arms by the ears. Just take a breath there. And then interlace the fingers behind the back. Take a breath with your torso upright. And then if you want, start to tilt the torso forward, hinging into humble warrior. And then come back to warrior one. Take your arms up by your ears. And then bring your hands down to frame your front foot and spin onto the ball of your back foot so you're in a lunge. And then just straighten your right leg for modified pyramid, just for a breath. And then re-bend your right knee and just step back to downward facing dog. Let's take some nice easy breaths here. And then take your left leg up and back. Bring the foot next to the left thumb, spin the back heel down, and come up into warrior one. Take a breath with the arms by the ears. And then interlace the fingers behind the back. Maybe the opposite thumb is on top. Take a breath with the torso upright. And then if you'd like, hinge forward, humble warrior. And then come back up to warrior one. Reach the arms up by the ears. And then take the hands down to frame your left foot. Spin onto the ball of your right foot so you're in a lunge. And then straighten the left leg for a breath. And then re-bend that left knee. Just step back to downward facing dog. And then walk your hands back to your feet, forward fold at the back of your mat. Take an inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, watch your palms touch. Exhale, cactus your arms, take a little back bend. Inhale, reach back up. And exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, walk your hands forward, downward facing dog. Once you're in your down dog, cross your right ankle behind your left ankle, so pinky toe edges of the feet are next to each other. And then unwind that and then take the other side, left ankle behind right. And then unwind that, just drop your knees to the mat and come into child's pose. And make your way back into downward facing dog. Walk your feet forward to your hands, forward fold top of the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way to standing. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. And then you may want blocks in front of you. So if you don't have them, you can grab them and just put them right at the top of the mat on the tallest setting, about shoulders distance apart. And then you just stand right behind your blocks and bring your hands to your hips. Once you have that, take your right foot back about 3.5, 4 feet. We're setting up for pyramid pose here. So press into both feet, take an inhale, lift the chest, draw in around the sides of the waist. And on the exhale, hinge forward and bring your hands to your blocks. You may want to walk them back so they're under your shoulders. We're just going to take a couple of breaths right here. So just make this a little more, can I say leisurely in this pose? It doesn't feel very leisurely for me, but don't force into a fold here. Instead, just let everything be soft. And you can stay right there. If you want, you can press into your right heel, lengthen the chest forward, feel that long line of energy, and then rotate your torso to the left as you reach your left arm up for revolve triangle. And then slowly return that left hand back to the block. Cinch in around the sides of the waist if you lost that, and then bring the hands to the hips and come all the way upright. Walk your right foot forward and step your left foot back. And then press into the feet, lift the belly, and hinge yourself forward for the second side. Hands to blocks. And just starting with some breaths here. Noticing what it feels like to let the breath be soft and let the body be soft. Doesn't mean there isn't sensation. For me, there certainly is. And you if you want, you can ground through the left heel, lengthen the chest forward, keep that length so you can rotate around the spine and twist the torso to the right arm up. And then return the right hand to the block, cinch it around the sides of the waist, bring the hands to the hips and come all the way up. Bring the left foot forward. You can take your blocks off to the side so they're not in your way. And then just give yourself a quick little shake out from all of that. So you can shake out the legs or the arms. And then just bring your feet hips distance apart and take your hands to your hips. Bend your knees like you're taking a little chair pose with your legs. And then cross your right ankle over your left thigh. So you're coming into like a standing figure four. And then if you want, hands can be at the heart. And if you want, you can slowly hinge forward, taking your forearms down to your shin. And then if you want, maybe fingertips come to the mat, you straighten your standing leg just for a breath. And if you folded forward, rebend that left knee, come out the way you came in, hands to prayer, forearms to shin. And then bring the torso upright. Hug your right knee towards your chest, straighten your standing leg. And then lower the foot, lower the arm, shake it out. Every time we do that, I think we should do that more. I need to do that more. All right, let's do the other side, hands to hips. Bend the knees, take your little chair pose. Cross the left ankle over right thigh. Then maybe hands come to prayer. And if you'd like, slowly tilt forward, forearms to shin. Maybe fingertips to the mat, straighten your standing leg for a breath. And if you folded, rebend your standing leg, hands to prayer, forearms to shin. And then bring the torso upright. Hug your left knee towards your chest, straighten your right leg. And then lower everything down and shake it out. Come back to mountain pose right where you are. Take an inhale, reach your arms up. And on the exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale your way to down dog, last vinyasa opportunity. Once you land in down dog, take several more breaths there. And drop the knees, come back into child's pose again. And then make your way up to seated for a moment. It's going to be a little hard for you to see me, but you're going to find a little bit of wall space, or even if you have like a couch or something stable. I'm just going to show you here what it's going to look like. So I'm going to sit with my back to the wall, and I'm going to be about arm's length away from the wall. So I'll go over there in a second and show you, but we're going to take a twist
just like we normally do seated, but the back arm is going to be at the wall. So you want to be able to sort of push the hand into the wall and feel just a little bit of resistance there. So you can make your way to any space where you feel like you have something stable to press into. Hopefully you have something in the room where you are. And then the trickiest part of this is just finding how far you need to be. So you can kind of reach back with one hand and just see if you can press into your fingertips or the palm, whatever feels best for you. I like fingertips. And then once you find that distance, you might have to play with it a little bit when you come into the twist. Just take a gentle twist to the right to start. So your left hand is on the outside of your right thigh. And just start with the right hand on the floor behind you. And then from there, you can start to walk that hand up so it's in line with your shoulder and fingertips or palm are pressing into the wall. So maybe you just feel that gentle rotation that causes. Don't look for anything crazy. And then you decide maybe this feels nice just to be right here. Maybe you walk the fingertips a little up towards the ceiling and a little back, or a little back, I guess I should say. So I'm getting now a little more opening in the front of the right shoulder and chest. So not as much rotation in the torso as a little bit of stretch with the arm and the shoulder. And then just completely unwind. So swing your torso forward, rest both hands on the knees, sit up nice and tall, close your eyes, and just notice how the right and the left shoulder feel, front of the chest, and then all along the sides of the torso. And then we'll just take that over to the other side. So start just with your simple twist. So the left fingertips are on the floor behind you, and the right hand is to the outside of the thigh. And then lift that hand up so it's touching the wall and it's in line with your shoulder. And I just realized I have to kind of adjust my positioning, so I have to come a little closer to the wall, so you may have to do that too. And maybe you stay there, maybe the fingertips walk a little up towards the ceiling and or a little back behind you to get that opening in the front of the left shoulder. And then just unwind that, spin the torso back forward, hands to the knees, sit up nice and tall and close your eyes. And again, now just notice how everything feels. Maybe, hopefully you feel a little more balance. And then you can find your way back onto your mat. You know, up and down doesn't always feel so relaxing, but sometimes we do it. So once you're on your mat, you can just come to seated with your legs straight out in front of you. So just coming to Dandasana here. Just sit up nice and tall. Hands can rest by the hips if you like. Just take a couple of breaths of the spine in this neutral position. We've done a lot of twisting today.
And then you can stay upright, or if you'd like, you just start to walk the hands just gently forward, coming into a seated forward fold. And then just make your way back upright with the torso. Hug your right knee in towards your chest so that right foot is flat. You can just take your hands and your arms around the shin and just take a couple breaths there. And then just drop the right knee to the right so you can bring the sole of the right foot to the inner left thigh. And then if you'd like, you can gently hinge forward here. And then just walk the hands back, lift the chest, extend the right leg out. Actually, just give your legs a little shake. And then we'll do the other side. So hug the left knee in, sole of the foot flat. And you just wrap your arms around the leg, give yourself a little hug. And then drop the left knee to the left, take the left foot to the inner right thigh, and if you'd like, just gently walk it forward. And then walk the hands back, lift the chest. Just re-extend the left leg and make your way up to the front of your mat so you can roll all the way back. And then once you get there, hug your knees in towards your chest. Maybe be still or take a gentle rock side to side. And then keep the knees bent, drop the feet to the mat so you're in bridge set up with the legs. And then just press into the feet, lift the hips, take a gentle bridge pose. And then lower the hips down to the mat. Just walk your feet a little wider than your hips and let your knees knock in towards each other. Maybe the arms just spread out to the sides a little bit. And then hug your knees in towards your chest. Maybe one last happy baby, noticing how this feels compared to that first one that you took. And then if you're in happy baby, release that, hug your knees in, give yourself a squeeze. And then find your way into Shavasana, finding a comfortable position on your back.
Start to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Circle your ankles and your wrists. Reach your arms by your ears, big stretch. And roll off to one side, pause there, eyes closed. And use your top hand to press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Just place your right hand over your heart and stack your left hand on your right hand. And today's affirmation is very simple. I'm going to say it and I'm going to give you just a brief amount of time to repeat it to yourself. You want to repeat it several times. So it is, I trust myself. And then just bring your hands in front of your heart, touch your palms to one another. And I hope you take that trust of yourself out with you as you move through the rest of your day. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.